Hey everyone, welcome back to A Bit Tactical. Today, I'm going to be covering the Phobos strike team and their equipment. Now, I just want to jump into the meat of this, what you should bring and what scenarios and all that, the tips and tricks, all that good stuff. But if you don't know the rules of the equipment, you can obviously watch my quick guide. It's in there, but it's also going to be at the end of this video. But I just want to go into it for the people who just don't want to go through the rules all over again. All right, enough with the preamble. So let's split this up into three categories: universal equipment, horde teams, and elite teams. Starting out with universal equipment, and this is stuff that you're just always going to bring, and that's additional utility grenades, which allows you to bring 4 smokes, which is what you absolutely want to do. If you like stun grenades, that's fine, but just know that nothing beats the obscurement plus cover meta right now in terms of damage mitigation. It's so good. First of all, since you're in a smoke grenade, you ignore piercing, so that no piercing weapons are able to affect you at all unless they're within 2 inches. You also get obscured, which means that they no longer get access to any of their crits or any of their crit special rules like devastating, because those automatically get demoted down to a normal hit, and a successful hit gets taken away. So that means that a hit that has gone through, that after they've done all their actions and they've resolved all their stuff, one of their successful hits gets taken away. And if you're in cover, you're gonna take it one automatically away. So and you're always gonna get all 3 of your dice. Basically, a melt-a-gun could shoot you, and you could mitigate all that damage down to nothing. It's insane. Next up is special issue ammunition, which allows you to get piercing 1 on the bolt carbine weapons, the marksman, the oculus, basically for your specialists and your warriors. Note, this does not work on the veteran, but it does work on your incursor mine layer, which I feel really, really does work well with this model. He's an incursor, so he ignores obscuring, he has saturate, and now he has piercing 1. Not a bad set of rules with a 3-4 weapon profile that hits on 3s and 4 attacks. Just a little bit of that extra. And by the way, with your other specialist, you can also use it with them if you want to. But I think it really pairs up well with the incursor. Now let's move on to the horde teams. Now with the horde teams, it really does also kind of depend on what type of horde team, right? If you're going against a Kazakhstan, which are a very shooty team, almost exclusively shooting, then something like the combat blades would actually be a very good thing to do. I know that I say that with the Kazakhstan, you want to go up in people's faces and get up close, but it is a little different when they go up in your face, okay? You can't handle that. Which is what you should do with the combat blades. It gives you that extra attack. It allows you to parry out, basically, almost any type of counter that Khazar can have, and then also kill them at the same time. So, and then against a melee-focused team, right, or even not completely melee-focused, but something more like the Blooded, right, where they have a good mix of melee operatives, you do kind of want to stay back and stay a little bit hidden, and that's why I would recommend getting the portable cover, even the heavy barricade, mines, things to kind of keep them away from you, or keep you more safe, so that you can pop out, shoot them, and play more defensively with the Phobos. Playing defensively with the Phobos is actually really, really good. They're beefy enough that they can tank some hits and have just enough of a counterpunch to make it effective, especially if you bring Reavers with you. If you start using, the Saboteur, the Veteran, the Mine Layer effectively. All of these guys are really more useful if they have a good piece of terrain, and sometimes the map layout doesn't really work out in your favor. So something like light barricades, the portable cover, the heavy barricade, these things can help you morph the terrain so you have a more defensible situation. Elites are a different matter than hordes altogether, mainly because they're better than you in every way. Okay? With, horde teams, your model against an individual model of their team, you're probably going to win, right? However, with elite teams, every elite team will kill you. If it's straight up shooting attack, they'll kill you because they have more health. If it's a fight and it's just a normal your guy versus a normal Astartes, for example, the Angels of Death team, they're gonna kill you. So when it comes to elite teams, the kind of equipment you want to bring is more the stuff that allows you to make sure that when you do attack them, it becomes deadly. For example, purity seals is a good way to ensure, hey, at the very least, one hit's gonna go through. More like 3, right? I'm trying to think how many times I've had all misses, and it's like, it's not that much, okay? It happens at the worst times possible. But most of the times you're going to hit, especially hitting on 3s, you're going to hit 2 dice at least. So if you fail 2 and now you got 3 hits, that's a solid roll any day of the week. That going through, especially with some of the weapon rules that you have, it's always just very nice to get purity seals, just to ensure you get that. When you need it, you get that little extra oomph into there. And that's really how you're going to have to play against elites, is that when you punch them as hard as you can. Obviously, that's going to... The strategy is more complex and nuanced than that, right, when it comes to elites and to hordes. However, that's just for the equipment. That's the things I like to bring when I'm going against those types of teams. Now, in general, I do think additional utility grenades to 4 smokes, purity seals, special issue ammunition, those are they're always good. You should probably always have light barricades. Again, morphing the terrain in your favor as a Phobos can be very, very helpful, right? Getting that extra bit of cover, and this is where the pre-planning comes into place, right? If there's a nice bit of heavy terrain and you can put your light barricade next to it so that your Vox Breaker can move up and create a very good 8-inch bubble around them where they're pretty safe, and they can make sure that your incursors have a good line of sight to other people. That's going to be very, very helpful. And that's kind of the main thing with the Phobos, is you want to plan ahead. You want to plan ahead into turning point, late turning point 2 and late turning point 3, right? With other teams, that second turning point is so essential. But with the Phobos, you really do have to scheme. And if you make a mistake, you're kind of done. Okay, you're like balanced on a knife edge because you are an elite team, so you're pretty powerful. However, if you make one mistake, all of a sudden all your usefulness goes down, right? If you lose with like the Angels of Death, right? If you lose your intercessor, it's not that big a deal. However, if you lose a Reaver, right, and the Reaver didn't get to do anything, that's actually a huge hit to your team, right? Now you might have to, from how I usually run it with, a Reaver Warrior and a Reaver Sergeant, now you might have to use that Sergeant and lose him a lot earlier than you would want to. So when it comes to equipment, you want to keep yourself safe. So the grenades and the light barricades, you do want a bit of punchiness, and that's why you get special issue ammunition and light barricades. And if you're feeling really aggressive, you might even go with that 5th equipment to get that crack grenade, just to make sure you get that nice little extra damage proof. That 4 or 5 damage with the crack grenade, it can be very good, especially against horde teams. And, elites as well. Alright, that's it for this video. Of course, I'm not going to do the rules read, but, if you've already know the rules, you don't need to get to this part. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. And now, for all the people that want it. Alright, rules read. So, if you have purity seals, if you roll 2 or more fails during a shooting attack, a fighting attack, or retaliating, you can discard 1 and retain 1 as a normal hit. And that's only once per turning point. Don't forget that part. It's only once per turning point. Also, additional utility grenades. Very self-explanatory. You can bring 4 smokes. You can bring 3 stuns and 1 smoke. 3 smokes, 1 stun, 2 stun, 2 smokes. Any combination of that you want, just as long as it's stun and smoke. And you will not be taking the normal. This replaces the normal utility grenades package as part of the faction equipment. Combat blades, literally the only thing this does is it changes your combat option attacks from 4 to 5 on anybody that this matters to, right? On your Reavers, this isn't going to matter because they already have a way better version of this, right? With that 4-5 damage. But anybody else that just has Fist, they get a combat knife and they get 5 attacks instead of 4. And then you have special issue ammunition, which once per turning point, anybody who's shooting a bolt carbine weapon, the Oculus bolt, the marksman bolt, they get piercing 1 for the rest of their shooting attacks. So you could theoretically have somebody shooting twice, doing a counteract and then shooting again for the counteract. So all 3 of those attacks would have piercing 1. Very good, very useful. All right, and that's the second wrap up for the video for all the new people. Okay, that's it. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.